It was almost shocking last year, around July 4th on Independence Day, just how much hubris the White House, the administration, the ascended elites up on top of the Golden Hill in Washington, D.C., how much of just a disassociation from reality it took for them in order to, with full honesty, full transparency, tweet out that over last year, don't worry, we got your back. We got a cheaper 4th of July celebration for you. We're going to save you guys 16 cents. They literally did that. Okay, this is a tweet. This is just kind of, well, it's obviously memed because things have gotten a heck of a lot worse. But no, they originally tweet that out. Now, if you're going to boast and brag about a 16-cent reduction, that needs to be on like a tangible unit, okay? You can't just say 16 cents on an entire meal spread. Like, that's nothing that you talk about, okay? If that was, I don't know, per poundage, per hot dog, per burger, you had something to measure it on, per pound of fries, like whatever you want to do. But you don't brag about that. You can say it in passing during a press conference. It's like, well, actually, for the traditional January 4th and Independence Day spread, you're actually going to be, you know, a little bit cheaper than it was last year, okay? Under the previous administration, you'd be able to take your shots there, but no, it's this administration, and they're never gonna miss an opportunity to dunk on Trump, even though, you know what, hey, their own lack of humility came back and immediately bit them in the ass. And we all knew that this was coming, okay? So they updated and weighing the same things that they did last year, okay? A libertarian outlet decided to update it for 2022 because it is current year after all. The cost of 4th of July cookout is up in 2022 this year by $10.18. Huh. Yeah, no, we want to play nickels and dimes right here. Yeah, we got bills and dimes and nickels on this one, and some pennies as well, because in the States you guys use pennies. But even still, okay, like, why aren't you talking about that? Why aren't you tweeting out about that? Why couldn't you decide to try to blame Putin on that one? Because that's what Biden's doing when it comes to gas prices, right? And it's all fine. Don't worry, it's all just hunky-dory and dandy, right? Drivers must pay more for gas as long as it takes to end Russia war. Okay, is this just another one of these admissions that you guys are using Ukraine as a proxy to fight Russia? And it's like, why do you continue to do this? You don't, theoretically, right, from a geopolitical stance, you do have a horse in this race, okay, but when it comes to actual troops on the ground, okay, United States servicemen and women over there, they're non-existent, okay? I know you were speaking at NATO, Joe, but realistically, why does the rest of the world have to suffer just because you don't like Putin? Okay, cool. But isn't he supposed to be dying soon? Because every time I go to look up some news on the Russia-Ukraine conflict, all I see is that, oh, any day now, Putin, he just continues to get sicker. Did you see that there was this one shaky cam piece of footage where it showed that his arm was kind of shaking next to his side, and that just means that he has a ticking time bomb between his ears. And it's like, oh, okay, cool, great. So how about like actual information? Yeah, no, Ukraine just continues to lose cities, but don't talk about any of that. Putin's sick, and his mistresses are talking. Fucking whatever. We'd speak to Joe Biden's mistresses, but we only have so many crayons to bribe them with for a tell-all interview. But again, this headline here, we're going to read a little bit of this. It's just, they're self-snitching, okay? We're not actually after, like, solving any problems, okay? And our problems are now your problems, and you should be focusing on that. Don't be focusing on anything that you can, like, immediately fix without the help or the need of the government. Don't be looking at that. Look at Russia and Ukraine. Ooh, that war that's going on half a world away, not involving any like direct combatants that anybody has to say about, but no, you should be completely enveloped by this conflict, okay? Because we get a lot of our petroleum from Russia, like 8 or 9%. Okay, cool. So why do things continue to go up? Oh, because Putin's a bad man. Okay, cool. I love these circular arguments. They're great. And then again, you have elected officials punishing regular law-abiding citizens because of some other bad people doing other things. Okay, like none of this shit ever makes sense. This is the exact same stuff whenever it comes to gun control. Some asshole shot a place up. if you wanted to stop mass shootings, you should probably just make them illegal. Oh, okay, cool. But no, what are we going to call for in the aftermath? And sometimes you'll get a couple of simps because, oh my God, Matthew McConaughey, he just had such a rousing speech. I had to sign on. Just go jerk off into your own face and watch Dazed and Confused again, you cucks. He was so dreamy and failure to launch. But no, just continue to kick the political football down the road and use it as a campaign talking point whenever you need to get reelected. I can see through this shit, and hopefully more people are as well. President Biden on Thursday, last Thursday, we're playing catch up on this stuff, okay? Because some other idiot let slip the mask a little bit more than Joe even normally does. Unfortunately, he couldn't surmise the situation in the United States right now, okay? He couldn't do it in a single word, unlike Joe. Said to you, American motorists should expect to pay elevated prices for gasoline until the Russia-Ukraine war is over. Why? Press conference following a NATO summit in Madrid. Biden was questioned about how long people should pay higher gas prices. I don't know. I haven't paid for gas in like 50 fucking years. Get off my back. How long is it fair to expect American drivers around the world to pay premium for this war? As long as it takes, man. Come on. So that Russia cannot, in fact, defeat Ukraine, move beyond Ukraine. When has Putin ever said that he wants to go further than Ukraine? He's opined, he's written about Ukraine quite a bit, okay? You just go back and take a look at some of the archives. And again, what Putin is asking for from Ukraine, a recognition of the independence of the Donbass region, okay, denazification of their military, and don't join NATO or the EU. Be neutral, and you can have the rest of your sovereign country, okay? But no, he's going to take over the world. He's going to be like Hitler if we didn't stop him. And it's like, okay, cool, fair comparison, stupid. But no, there's literal things when it comes to drilling that Biden has a direct hand in, okay, in order to lessen the burden on American citizens. But he's speaking at a globalist fucking summit like NATO, okay, so he has to appeal to the broadest, dumbest audience possible. So instead of actually helping American motorists, no, he's going to further implement the squeeze. Biden looks to block or limit new offshore drilling. Great. Wonderful. Scaling back Trump-era plan to pump more oil. Okay, cool. So you can't drill on federal land. And now, soon, into the future, you can't drill in federal water? Oh my God. He's literally trying to kill everybody. Like, he's trying to freeze them out this winter, okay? And he's going to try to make it untenable for people to drive and pick up their groceries. Everybody can just hop on the government tit, just get on shitty public transportation, which is just realistically only decent in massive mega metropolis areas, which are overpopulated with, who are that exactly? Oh, Democrat voters. Yeah, no, exactly. Just try to create the infighting there at the local level, and then everybody's too busy fighting over one another to realize what the government is actually doing. Tinfoil hat off. But let's just go to what's actually happening right now, okay? Might not have that kind of a dark fate, but we're going to have Biden, okay? And they have the open road, Democrats in general, because we need to go ahead and vote harder this November because we don't control... Well, we actually have both houses of the legislature and the executive branch, and it takes a long time for anything to get up to the Supreme Court, and they just interpret the law as it stands. So, again, yeah, we don't like what Republicans are doing, Republicans who aren't in power. So we need to vote more Democrats so more of this shit continues to happen. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay. But then again, we're dealing with the Biden regime. Anyways, the Biden administration, your words, my words, it doesn't really much matter, has announced plans to block all new offshore oil and gas drilling in the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Why? I was watching this nature documentary, man, and I seen these really cute. They kind of look like wet dogs, man. They came out of the water with their big eyes, and big eyes like I haven't seen since the pool when I was up in Delaware. And they used to play with my leg hair, and I learned about roaches. Fucking weirdo. And I felt bad for them, and I seen people clubbing them and skinning them and using their blubber for candles, man. And candles create carbon emissions, and we need to stop that. Please just sit him down, not on a bicycle, because he can't even do that at this point. But this is ridiculous. So, while potentially letting a handful of new leases go ahead off the coast of Alaska and the Gulf of Mexico, Okay, cool, because the Gulf of Mexico doesn't feed directly into the Atlantic Ocean and off the coast of Alaska. I think it's got the Pacific covered, but yeah, no, okay. The draft plan, released July 1st by the Interior Department, lays out several options for public input as to how many offshore oil and gas lease sales should be held over the next 5 years, ranging from nearly a dozen new leases to 0. A dozen, huh? I thought that offshore drilling was, outside of just that one Mark Wahlberg movie, is like pretty safe, actually. Like, as long as BP doesn't fuck up when they're putting in some, or working on some pipelines, okay, or they don't need to make a Hollywood blockbuster with a really cool special effects, it's pretty fucking safe out there. What are we concerned about? The proposed plan puts forward several options, from no lease sales up to 11 lease sales. Oh, cool. Over the next 5 years. 5 years. 11 leases. Huh. Oh, my God. As somebody who has worked or been oil and gas adjacent, I've worked in, a ton of different industries, okay? And where I'm at right now in Grand Prairie, Alberta, basically the entire economy, and speaking about Alberta in general, it's mostly propped up by a little bit of forestry, okay? A little bit of, self-sustaining industries in a couple of different places. But without the oil and gas industry, this place would be empty. This city would be empty, okay? Sure, we got Canfor and Weyerhaeuser and Ainsworth, whatever the fuck that's called at this point. Sure, we got a couple of different pulp and paper and lumber mills that are around here. But that's not enough to sustain a city that services, like, an area. It's the largest city in the north that isn't Anchorage, Alaska, okay? Like, we have a huge service area. But no, man, just buy an electric car, stop complaining. Oh my fucking God. Open for consideration and public input are 10 potential new leases in the Gulf of Mexico and 1 in the Cook Inlet off the southern coast of Alaska. Okay, so if they can have 10 leases in the Gulf of Mexico, okay, like, depending on what the measurements are off of the coast of Alaska, I'm sure that's probably a much larger bit of area. But if you can do 10 leases, and I don't know the general size of a lease or anything like that, where if they're talking, like, if they're measuring, downward to where you extract the oil or natural gas, okay? Like, we could go down some back roads if you're feeling extra frisky and go check out at least, like, 2 or 3 dozen leases within a stone's throw of where I live. So it doesn't seem like a lot, but maybe like offshore drilling's a little bit different, but that seems awfully low considering the situation we're in globally right now. But again, this is all Putin's fault. What the fuck? Entirely removed from consideration are any new leases in federal waters off the Atlantic and Pacific coasts. Why? Stands in contrast to the Trump-era proposal for 47 new offshore drilling leases, including in the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. See, that seems just a little bit more, fully operational, or at least, accessible. Former President Donald Trump, who sought to expand the U.S. fossil fuel production as a bulwark against supply disruptions and to bolster America's energy security. Yeah, no shit. He accomplished that, by the way, okay? Issued an executive order in 2017 titled Implementing an American First Offshore Energy Strategy. Yeah, exactly. And it was very successful, okay? That and drilling within the United States as well. And I've been over this stuff a ton, okay? All of the propaganda where you just get, the dark skies over the top of an oil derrick. Oh my God, it's just going to be death and destruction. You're gonna get that oil slick on your windshield when you wake up in the morning. This isn't the 1930s anymore, Uncle Joe, okay? You might think it is because you're so fucked up here, but we have treatment plants, some low-level processing facilities within a stone's throw of where I live, okay? And there's nothing wrong with the air quality. There's nothing that happens. Everything, technology has advanced to the point, in case you haven't been paying attention, to where any sort of excess pollution is pretty much done away with, okay? And I know it might be different in the United States, and I know that there's some different safety regulations that are just a touch different, okay? But in general, okay, this has all been sorted, and it has been for a long time, and it had nothing to do with government regulations. It was just, it came to efficiency, okay? That's why, naturally speaking, okay, coal was never going to be preferable. It was preferable over wood when it came to creating energy, okay? And then coal, with its excess burning, okay, is not the most efficient thing that's out there, okay? Natural gas, far more efficient, far more clean burning, but no, can't do that, okay? That's bad. That's a fossil fuel, okay? So it burns like 99.98% clean. So what do you want to do, okay? Do you want to switch over to nuclear? What, do you want to kill us all? Okay, great, wonderful. So I see where this conversation is going. Nowhere. In it, Trump wrote, increased domestic energy production on federal lands and waters strengthened the nation's security and reduces reliance on imported energy, adding that low energy prices driven by an increased American energy supply will benefit American families and help reinvigorate American manufacturing and job growth. Thank God it's only 2 more fucking years, okay? And through that plan, he also topped up the international reserves. You know, the ones that Biden's touting for whatever fucking reasons. I'm letting go of a historic amount of extra oil to help people pay for their gas, which is going to stay high because I got a liberal world order that I need to maintain. They actually said this. They're that fucking dumb, dude. Like, there's no two ways about it. These people are evil or stupid. I think some of the high-level folks are really retarded. And I think some of the low-level workers, they're just too stupid to keep their fucking mouth shut. Okay, so a Biden advisor, somebody who's in his inner circle, but not like, you know, the grade school kids' inner circle, but like, you know, on the periphery. He's in the vicinity, okay? He'd hear his mumbling into his oatmeal every morning. Americans will have to endure pain at the pump indefinitely in the name of the liberal world order. He fucking said that. He said those words. Those words came out of his mouth, okay? I wasn't going to talk about this because I just seen a passing tweet, and it's like, okay, it's Twitter, and you're going to be hyperbolic. But when I looked at the clip on CNN, the motherfucker said liberal world order, and then just continued on. And it's like, no, don't worry about it, okay? I know the new world order has specific connotations, but the liberal world order, totally different, totally fine. Don't worry about it. Let's talk about more of that globalist summit that went on and say that there's no big overarching plan where we're just trying to plot for a post-humanist society. Oh, of course we couldn't be talking about any of that stuff, okay? During an appearance on CNN Thursday, National Economic Council Director Brian Dees Nuts was asked by anchor Victor Blackwell. I don't know who these people are, but he's a national economic counselor, or counsel. He's a counselor too, as well. Okay. What do you say to those families who say, listen, we can't afford $4.85 a gallon for months, if not years. This is just not sustainable. And it's like, well, sorry, we already got elected, so get fucked and make sure to vote blue in November. What you heard from the president today was a clear articulation of the stakes. X to doubt, Joe Biden doesn't say anything clearly, and nor does he have the articulation capacity that he did even 2 years ago at this point. This is about the future of the liberal world order, and we have to stand firm. What the fuck? So, what? We're the conspiracy theorists over here. Okay. But at the same time, what I'd say to the family and to Americans across the country is that you have a president, an administration that's going to do everything in its power to blunt those prices, increase, and bring those prices down. Let me just remind you that Joe Biden blocks and limits offshore drilling and has nothing to do about any more drilling on federal lands, but he's going to do everything in his power, right? Hours earlier, Biden had asked New York Times reporter Jim Tankersley during a news conference in Madrid, war on oil has pushed up prices. Oh, I'm sorry. The big war that everyone's involved with, right? Whatever. A war has pushed up prices. Oil could go as high as $200 a barrel, some analysts think. Remember when it was actually trading below $0 a barrel? Boy, that seems like it was a fucking lifetime ago. Some analysts think. How long is... Oh, is it fair to expect American drivers around the world to pay a premium for war? Brother, you said the quiet part out loud, okay? They just want to perpetuate this war because war is good business, okay? If there was no war out there, do you think that they could just crank out $40 billion that they're never going to fucking pay back from the Fed? Continue to milk the taxpayers that are out there for that $40 billion? They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about me. I know my quote-unquote leader doesn't give a fuck about me because my skin color's the wrong tone, okay? I identify as a straight man, okay? He could give two shits about my existence, and plus, I live west of Ontario, okay? I could literally die tomorrow and nobody would give a fuck. Boy, that's a dark outlook. Democrats and establishment Republicans, okay? Like, I can think of just a handful of people who actually give a shit in elected office right now at the federal level. I'm sure that there's a lot of good state elected officials and local representatives that probably do a very good job. But when it comes to the federal level, these people are so disassociated with the rest of the world. They just spend most of the time in Washington, D.C., which is just concentrated fucking horseshit, okay? Like, you hear what they're talking about. Okay, everyday people can't afford to pay, double for what they used to pay for a tank of gas. Because I'm seeing some scary fucking numbers on those gas prices, okay? Like, if I was continuing to drive to an office back and forth every day, okay, my gas bill in my vehicle would be $400 a month in gas, okay? I could not afford that. I could absolutely... like, it was a bitch, okay, to do 200, but to just overnight like that, just flip up all of a sudden, like, I couldn't be doing that, okay? And I don't know if this is by design, because I don't want to think that they're that Machiavellian, but it's really hard to attribute anything to just incompetence at this point, as it would be as efficiently as they've just destroyed society at this point, okay? That it's anything less than malice. They want everybody poor, they want everybody needy, they want everybody on the government tit, like they have been, like Joe Biden has been for the better part of 5 goddamn decades. Enjoy Independence Day. It's a great day down there. I'm sure fireworks probably went off, if not last night. It'll be going on somewhere in the twilight tonight as well. Hopefully you are, in a position where you can celebrate comfily and party into the wee hours of the morning, if you're so inclined to do that, of course, and then rest up on the Independence Day itself, because I have great reverence for that. You guys have wonderful celebrations in light of the fact that there are those spurgs that are out there that just want to, it's about celebrating slavery. Oh, get fucked. We just want to fire off some fucking fireworks and hopefully, don't lose a hand like Jason Pierre-Paul. Meanwhile, up here in Canada, you had our fucking dear leader just stand with his head down and just, cry about whatever new culture he's going to appropriate sometime later this week. Yeah, fuck him. So yeah, have a good party. Hopefully you have some good friends and good family in your company if you're inclined to do that. Otherwise, just enjoy the day. I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.